because summer brings outdoor adventures, new places to explore for children, but with the fun comes an increased risk of accidental poisoning. Here to help us keep our summer safe is Sarah Maverick, a health promotion specialist at the IWK Child Safety Link. Thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's start with how you define a poison.
Yeah, at Child Safety Link, we define a poison as anything that can make you sick if you eat it, touch it, inhale it, or even get it into your eyes.
Multiple ways then that kids can get sick. So why does the summer bring a few more poisoning risks for young children?
Yeah, we can sometimes see more poisoning risks for children in the summer, and that's because their routines are changing. They're out of school, they might be visiting friends and family, they're even just spending more time outdoors. And so in the home, we've often taken the steps to put those harmful items out of sight, out of reach, and locked up. But in a new or in a shared environment, that might not be the case. And so things like medications, certain plants, chemicals, they might be more accessible to children.
Okay, let's start to break down then. One thing that you have listed is outdoor plants and berries. What should we keep an eye out for?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, in the summer, people are spending more time outdoors, so they're seeing some more of those things. And in the natural world, there's what we call lookalike poisons. So these are things that look like they could be edible, but in actuality are toxic, even in small amounts. So it's important to know what's growing in your yard and to educate your kids on the rest of that and to remind them that they can look, but not to touch or not to eat those things.
Also, this is great advice too, not only if you have kids, but maybe you have some family visiting. You're not used to having young children around and thinking, oh wait, never thought about that, because I knew as an adult maybe not to touch that berry, not to touch that plant. Also, garden products. A lot of us have those filled in our sheds, in our garages, maybe not out of reach of young kids. What should we keep an eye out for?
Yeah, so any yard products or even like pool or hot tub chemicals, you want to make sure that you're keeping those in their original containers that has the proper instructions for use. And then anytime you use them, you want to put them away in a space that's locked. So whether that's the shed or the garage, and you're doing that after every time that you use it so that a child can't access it.
So what kind of containers would people be using instead of the original containers?
We can see sometimes that people will use other things that they have in their home. Maybe that's like a old box or a bottle, and this could be confusing for a child who might not see that it's dangerous.
Okay, especially if it's like a drink like Gatorade or
something
like
that they may be used to.
We've talked about this one before, but it's worth reminding people about. Pop rockets, they look like those campfire colors, and you have a couple of them here just to show the difference.
Yeah, we did bring these today. So we have the campfire colors here, and then these are the Pop Rocks candy. And so the campfire colors, it is a powdery substance that you pour over a fire, and it does change the color. And then the thing is that when you open it, the substance inside looks very similar to Pop Rocks candy. Yeah, but the campfire colors, it's made from copper sulfate. So if a child were to ingest it thinking it's candy, it could result in severe stomach upset or possible internal burns. So you want to make sure you're following the instructions for use and that you're securing it away when you're done with it.
Okay, good advice. Finally, you also have a lock bag, and that's great for when you're traveling too.
Yeah, so when it comes to the prevention piece, anytime you're in a new location, you want to make sure that you're doing a scan and you're seeing things from the perspective of a child. So what can they see? What can they grab? And so if you see any harmful substances, you want to make sure that you're putting it up high, like locked up, out of reach. And a really helpful tool is the lock bag. And so we do have one today. And so it has a locking mechanism on the top. And so it's really great for when you're traveling. You can put medications, other substances like the campfire colors that I just showed in here, and then you can stow it away, just making sure that the key is not accessible to a child.
You can find those.
Yeah, you can buy these at certain retailers like Staples or Walmart or even online retailers.
All right, very quickly, if a child is accidentally poisoned, what should a parent or caregiver do?
Yeah, if you know or even if you suspect that something's happened, the first thing to do is to call the Atlantic Canada Poison Center. Their staff are trained, available 24/7.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much for helping us stay safe this summer, especially our little ones.
Thank you for having me.